Hello, dear lovely Goenkans. A warm welcome to all of you once again to the audiovisual class of English. So, my dear kids, this lesson is in continuity with the topic of tenses that we are already learning or doing in the online classes. So, we all know that the verb tells us about the time of action. The tense of the verb tells us about the time of the action, right? So, there are three types of tenses: present tense, past tense, and future tense. We already have learnt about the three types of tenses in the previous PDF as well and in the online class too. So dear kids, today I am going to tell you what is present tense as we started it in the online class last time. So present tense of the verb tells us about the action that is taking place right now, at present, or that takes place quite often or every day, which is a routine basically, or is a universal or general truth. So the verbs in simple present tense indicate habits and general truths, right? Now, my dear kids, here are some examples in which we can see the different verbs being used in present tense. The moon shines brightly, the cat sleeps, I study, I go to bed, I comb my hair, the sun rises in the east, she brushes her teeth every day, I wash my face. So in all these examples, you can easily see and find out what are the verbs: shines, sleeps, study, comb, go, rises, brushes, wash. But all of them are in present simple tense. But the question is, why some of the verbs are with ess and why some verbs are without es and s, like study, comb, wash, go. They are without s, they are the simple forms of the verb. But some of the verb forms are shines with es, sleeps with s, rises with s, brushes with s, right? So in these examples, there is s with the verb because we already know the subject verb agreement, and I will recollect that concept today, that when subject is singular like I, right, we always take with such verbs, with such nouns that are singular, the verb takes ses or ies with it. So when the subject is singular, the noun is singular, the doer of the action is singular, we take the verb takes es. But if it is a plural like they, it does not take es with it. But now there is an exception. With I, we always use study. We can never say I studies. We can never say I goes. We can never say I washes. We can never say I combs. We can never say I eats. Why? Because there's a rule to it. The rule is, with personal pronouns I, you, we, and they, the verb remains in its original form. That means without s, es, or ies, right? So this is the subject verb rule agreement, with few exceptions of the personal pronouns I, you, we, and they. They do not take s. The verb does not take s when it is used with personal pronoun I, you, we, and they, right? So here are few more examples, and let me tell you, my dear kids, in all the examples of the present form of the verb, simple form of the verb, we always talk about the routine things, the habits, the habitual things, or the truths. I go to school, it's a routine. His father goes to work by car every morning, it's a routine. They eat dinner at 6 p.m. every evening, so this is again a routine. We drink orange juice every morning, this is again a routine. Now you can say in these examples, I go, we never say I goes, because with pronoun I, we use the simple form go, simple form of the verb without s. His father, see, this is his father, we are talking about third person, so goes will go with it, es will be added to go. Likewise, we have we and they, we have used eat and drink, they are the simple forms without s. Now, my dear kids, the question arises, with which verb will we use S? With which verb will we use ES? And with what will we use IES? And what remains unchanged? So again, there's a rule. Have a look. This is one more example with habitual things and with general truths like the earth moves around the sun. The examples like this, we know that it's a truth that earth moves around the sun. We cannot say earth move. We always say earth moves, right? Why? Because it's a habitual thing with habits. Sorry, it's a truth. So with truths and routine works, we use S and ES. And the fact here is also that subject-verb agreement. If you look at this example clearly, the earth is singular. That is why the verb takes moves, right? Have a look at these examples now. We need to understand where do we use S, ES and IES with the present simple tense of the verbs. Look at these examples. My mother goes to the supermarket every Sunday. Jessica crosses that road every morning. He washes his car every week. Tommy watches television every night. In all these examples, we are talking about a routine that on all Sundays my mother goes to supermarket. Jessica crosses every morning, the road every morning. The person washes his car every week, and Tommy watches television every night. So these all are routine works, these are habits. Now, why are we using ES with all these verbs here? Goes, crosses, washes, watches. When I taught you conversion of singular to plural nouns, I taught you a rule that whenever a word or a noun ends with O, S, SH or CH, we add ES to make it plural. The same rule applies here. Whenever we are talking of a verb in simple present tense form, if the subject is singular, it takes an ES, IES or S. But here, why is it taking ES? Because when the word ends with O, go, we add ES. When it ends with S or ES, like cross, we add ES. With wash, SH, we add ES. And with watch, we add ES, because all these words end with S, O, CH and SH. And now is the point, where do we use IES and S? If we have, this is also a simple rule that we learned while making singular nouns into plural forms. There's a simple rule to it. With verbs that end with Y and there is a consonant before it, like cry, we drop Y and we add IES. It becomes cries, dries, fries. But if we have a verb like buy, kharidna, buy, there is a vowel before Y, so there we drop Y. We do not drop Y, we simply add S. I hope you understood it, and now you can do exercise part A on book page number 42 based on this work. Thank you, take care.